All right. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to some more gear reviews, and today I got this bad boy right here, and it's something kind of weird that I've honestly, as a filmmaker, have never seen before. Now, GVM has sent over another light here. Already, it comes in a nice case, but it's a little bigger than our last couple cases that we've gotten from GVM. So we're gonna open this up and show exactly what's inside this thing, because it's wild. Hey, before we continue, I just want to let you guys know that today's video is actually sponsored by Owned.tv. Now, this place is your one-stop shop for stingers and overlays. You got panels, emotes, badges, avatars, gaming logos, anything you want to boost your stream quality and your image. They also got things like a custom emote builder, your own avatar if you want to make one, free music to play on your streams, copyright free. A little sidebar here, you can actually go check out Owned.pro. That's like a whole boosted version of Owned, where basically everything's integrated into OBS and like you get some more access to super cool features. Now with Owned Pro, you actually do like a one-stop shop, just click and it installs right into OBS. It's super easy. So if you guys are at all interested in any of this, go check out Owned.tv or Owned Pro, get yourself a discount, throw in code activator. I got you. All right, back to the video. Inside the case, as soon as you open it up, you got some pamphlets, manuals, and whatnot. You also got some foam padding here and there, which maybe you do or don't need. You're also going to get a nice little reflector and you know, your power cables and all that kind of stuff. But the main bits coming right up, and that's this guy right here. We got a Ballast. So already you know this thing is trying to be a beefy boy, and that this thing, you know, it's lightweight, but it's still, this is a thick, it's a thick guy. Inside this this case is a light called the GVM S200R, and it's much similar to the other lights we've been seeing from GVM that we've been reviewing here. And again, this is not sponsored or anything like that. They just wanted me to check out this light and kind of go in through the ins and outs of what's cool about it, maybe what's not cool about it. So right here, I mean, you're looking at a light, so what makes this thing different? Let me show you. Got a little stand here. All right, we got a little mount. It's a Mayfair clamp here, but it's used to hold the ballast on your stand. Not bad. You know, on paper, it seems like your normal everyday light here, but there's a catch, and just let me finish powering it up. Plug in this thing right here. We got this cable right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up. Now that I've turned on the on switch, now there's a secondary on switch. You push and hold that guy, and eventually the light turns on. And now we got ourselves a little light source right here. You know, nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm talking a nice, you know, bicolor light here. I'm sitting at about 20%, 3,400 degrees. Let's take that down to 2,700 degrees. And then again, I can go all the way up to 50, 7,500 degrees Kelvin. So, you know, you can get that nice kind of, you know, daylight looking, you know, light. What makes this thing kind of different and unique? Well, first of all, it's, you know, it's pretty powerful. I mean, this is now at 100%, and you can kind of see it's pretty bright. I mean, that's the sun out there, and we're looking at something, you know, pretty powerful, but at least it's kind of competing with it, right? Now here's the weird part. If I hit this little mode button, I'm a little blind, let me tone that down. This light actually has a second LED on it, on the back. And not only that, I can take this guy and now stick it on here. And now I got myself an RGB light that I can go ahead and dial in the hue to whatever I need, and how weird is this? So what they claim here is this is a dual-headed light, and the light fixture itself is called the ST200R, and it basically, it has, you know, the RGB kind of stuff going on here, so I can kind of cycle through all the colors and whatnot. It also has different modes, effects, and all that stuff that we've covered multiple times on this channel. I can actually control this all from my phone. So if you guys like to be able to control your light sources via an external source like a phone, you can do that. Now, the one thing you can't do right off the bat, let me get this out of the way, you can't use both sides at the same time. And I don't even know why you would in the first place. Maybe for like a sit-down interview. It's a very strange device. Now, don't get me wrong, it is cool to be able to have, you know, a couple of different modes in there, to be able to have yourself, you know, an RGB light as well as a bicolor light, but it's a little strange to have it on two sides of the same light, two different sides of the same light. Cycling back and forth between the two can get kind of weird, especially if you got your light fixture mounted somewhere up, you know, kind of high. You know, you got to have it in a place in which you can get access to it and be able to flip it around if you need to. Anytime I want to go to the RGB mode, you know, once I dial in my perfect setting here, if I switch it over to RGB, but I'm already looking that way, and I go ahead and turn this on, oh, now I'm looking this way, so I gotta flip the light around, right? So you gotta keep that in mind when you go to use this thing, that you need to flip it around and make sure you have the right orientation anytime you're trying to do something, you know, different. Now, what makes this thing kind of unique is the fact that it comes with a ballast, and this ballast offers a lot of flexibility as well, and you can actually sit here and put some batteries on this thing and really operate it the way you want. So if you're out on the go and you're out somewhere else and you don't have a power source, you just pop on two V-mount batteries, and right there you got yourself a nice little portable light setup. That's pretty freaking cool, don't get me wrong. What is cool about this light is I can go ahead and just open up the GVM app, and in here I can just research, find this light after it connects, after it searches for it anyways. I go ahead and just connect to it, click on the CCT mode, and that's gonna give me the, you know, the bicolor stuff, so I can go over all the way up to 7,500 degrees or all the way down to 2,700 degrees to get the warmer or the cooler light. And then also you got your brightness here. So this is 100% brightness. It's very bright. I think it's 200 watts on both sides. So, you know, in total 400 watts, but I mean, you're only using one side at a time. So keep that in mind that when you're using this thing, 200 on one side, I believe, and 200 on the other side. So once you got past the CCT mode, you also got RGB mode. You got a couple different options here. You got a whole field to dial in your perfect color of choice, or you can come over here to the sliders and manually slide each and every little slider that you want. So if I want all green, I can go down on the red and the blue there and just go all the way up on the green. Pretty nice and easy. You also got Hsi mode, and if I go to that, you get a nice little color wheel, and again, I can come over here and just, you know, start to manually select what I want. I can also click on this little thing called the picker, and if I go ahead and click on that, it actually utilizes my camera to find a color of something. So maybe I'll select, so you know, my wife's been working on some resin stuff here, so if I look at this little blue cube here, and I go ahead and match to it, I hit get, and now if I turn up the brightness, now we got some blue up here in the background. So pretty cool that you can go ahead and match your color to an object if you have an object you want to match to. A pretty cool feature is having preset gels, and these come in from both Lee and Roscoe. Now, I'm not sure if they're actually associated and these are actually color accurate in terms of what these are offering here. We got a bunch of different options here in terms of, you know, different types of filters. You got L046 dark, that's magenta. You also got lavender, and if I come over here to the Roscoe gels, I can go over here to salmon, or I can maybe, I got henna sky. Not bad to be able to have this kind of stuff on hand at any given time. And again, maybe half CTO, bright pink, and all these different filters kind of built in. So if you know a gel you like to use, rather than putting a gel on the front of the fixture, just go ahead and select it right here. Deep blue, that's what I want. In the same app, you also have source matching, and source matching basically goes ahead and looks for you know, different types of sources to match to. So right now I'm matching a tungsten light. So a little light bulb, that's why it's kind of warm back there. So we got an HMI 5600, we got an HMI 6000, we got studio lamps. So again, it'll start to try to match what those lights look like, you know, something like a Parkan or something like that. You got sunset, you also got yourself some overcast sky. It's nice that they threw it in there to give you extra options to just quickly dial something in and then tweak it. Now lastly, we have some effects here, and right off the bat, we have lightning, and not only do you get to select these effects, but you get to say when it starts. So I can go ahead and hit play, and that's gonna trigger the lightning. So now we got some lightning up in the background. I can set the intensity, how fast it's gonna do its lightning. And so if I go full intensity here, maybe the rate, I bring all the way up to 10 from 1. And now it seems to be going pretty nuts here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dial that back down to a rate of 1. I'm gonna change the color temperature all the way down to 2,700 degrees. And now it should be kind of like a warm lightning bolt strike or something like that. Now, just to kind of quickly go through some of these other effects, you have no effect, you also have lightning, you have CCT loop, and that should go ahead and just kind of cycle through your color temperature. So it's going to go from cool to warm and then back, and it's going to keep going back and forth. We got candlelight, we got bad bulb, we got TV, you also got paparazzi, you got explosion, you also got yourself pulsing, you got party mode, you got cop car and disco. But now for the latter ones, you're going to switch back over to the RGB mode. You don't want to be on the bicolor side, because as soon as I switch over to party mode, you're going to see that it's going to want to go ahead and cycle through the colors. So again, if I flip this back around, you're going to see it starting to cycle through the colors. And we have your basic kind of cop car situation. Change the rate at which it's playing here, so I can go kind of fast there. So this thing is pretty cool, but it's almost more of a party trick in my opinion. You got this thing that has RGB on one side and bicolor on the other, but generally, from a filmmaker standpoint, you want things to be easy. You want everything on one side, or you use two separate fixtures themselves. But I can see how this could be cool to be able to just quickly flip around and go into a bicolor mode if I need to, and then flip back around if I need to be in RGB mode. And right now I got kind of a pinkish salmon color going on here. On top of all this, we also have ourselves a little DMX in and out over here, so you can go ahead and connect multiple of these light sources together and have them all controlled to the same situation via an XLR cable, 3-pin to 3-pin XLR cable. So if you need that, that's an option. Well, a couple downsides about this light. First of all, this cable. This cable comes out the side, and it's proprietary. I don't understand why you wouldn't have this be detachable or having another connection here just in case this cable gets messed up at a certain point. You're relying on this cable to never break on you in order to keep this light running. And if it was my choice, I would have made a separate connector here, connected one bit here, one bit to the ballast, and that way if that cable ever gets ruined, you can always just replace that cable. But now this cable goes into the brain of this light, and you're kind of stuck with what's happening here, which is it's just on the inside. I have no idea what that cable is on the inside, and I do see some screws here, so maybe there's a situation in which I could pull this off and replace it, but honestly I have no idea. So some other negatives about this thing, the proprietary cable that they have here, I don't know, it's a multi-pin end tip there, but you screw it in and you got to use a little ring to go ahead and really tighten it on there. It takes a little bit of time to go ahead and twist that on there, kind of irritating. Now, I think a weird bit about this light is the fact that it has DMX capability down here, but the fixture itself, when you're using DMX, usually you're putting these up into a grid in a stage or a studio or something like that. But if you're up there and it's all dialed in with DMX, so you don't have to touch the physical light, when are you ever going to be flipping this light around? To have a light that has DMX capabilities, it just doesn't make sense to put this up in a place to which you would be putting it into a grid and then on a DMX, because if you want to go RGB, you need a physical person to swap the light and flip it around to go into RGB mode. So DMX is cool, but it's a very weird situation to use with this particular dual head light. It's a great fixture, but I don't think it really caters towards what DMX offers for people out there working on stages and studios. So one other issue I have with this light is kind of a big one too, and I found this out while working on set, and it's the fact that this thing has a fan in it. Now this fan can get pretty loud. Now there is a couple different settings here. In the ballast, you can actually turn it to auto, quiet, or high, and so high mode, it was almost unusable, but I just heard it well enough that I know sound designers and the production could hear it on set. So I turned this thing down to quiet, and it was fine, but I could still hear it. Now, when you're working on set, you're working in closed off, smaller environments, and everything goes kind of quiet when you go to roll. So you're starting to hear every little thing. So if a mouse scurries across the ground, you're probably going to hear that. So I had this thing on a high mode, and it was pretty loud, so I ended up going down to a quiet mode. I still heard it, and that's kind of unfortunate. However, they do have an auto mode. Now when you set it to auto, it will allow the fan to get a little bit, I think, quieter than quiet. Now as this light's going to be on for a while, it is going to heat up and that fan will start to kick up. So if you do need it to be as quiet as possible, you will have to turn this thing off, let it cool down, then turn it back on. Now it's bearable. I'm not trying to say that you would have an unusable shot, but it's audible, it's noticeable, much like my refrigerator that I just had click on. So for a full day, I used this on set, and it turned out to be a pretty decent light. The only weird part was swapping between RGB and bicolor and having to literally flip the light around. So that got a little weird over time, but with that aside, everything that it does pretty well. And for the price, you can't really beat it. So over on Amazon right now, this light is normally going for $660. They got a $50 coupon, as well as it's already on sale for 23% off. So you're looking at about 460 bucks, $460 for a dual head light, 200 watts both sides. So 200 watts is pretty bright, but you know, they also have their bigger versions, the 300s. So you know, if you need more power, go check those ones out. I've actually been utilizing their SD300D, which I made another review on, which I can post, I don't know, here if you want to go check out that video or at the end of this video. But yeah, I'm using that right now to go ahead and use that for this scene, because right now I had to balance for sunlight outside. So, you know, I'm using this guy to go ahead and just, you know, fight the power of the sun over here. And again, it is bicolor, so if I needed to switch this at any given time, I can. And I control all this stuff from my phone, which is pretty great. So shout out to GVM for sending over yet another cool light fixture, another cool, unique source of light. And I love to play with lighting, and to see this thing was kind of a treat. This thing was wild. I enjoyed it, and I hope to review some more from you guys. So thank you guys very much. Thanks for watching, you the viewers. Make sure to like and sub to the channel. It helped me out, and you know, we'll keep this train going. All right, thank you very much. Check out this thing. Again, $460 over on Amazon. I'll drop a link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. And that's it. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. All right, bye. Wild, just wild.